Yo, what's going on, everybody? So I haven't made a video in quite some time, but decided to make this video for YouTube because I just entered this position about 15 minutes ago, and I'm here long on GJ. But I also wanted to go over yesterday's long position, which, as you can see, made me just about $1,500 on this account that I'm showing here. So as you can see, I have multiple accounts that I'm actually trading. This one specific is a little bit of a smaller account, more or less a longer term portfolio that I'm working with here. I'm only risking about 0.5% per position, if that. This is also a signal that I called here. This is kind of why you see this here on the screen. I was just sending out the targets to the signal group, but I'm not here to promote my signal chat, right? I'm here to give you guys some education, some free education. So when it comes down to GJ on the daily time frame, overall price had been working its way up. We did have this struggle here at around 143.50, right? You guys have to be able to pay attention to these major zones, identify what your major zones are, so you could look for price breaking and retesting these levels. So when I'm referring to these levels that I'm going to be talking about, like 143.50, these are pretty major areas for this specific currency pair over the last couple of, not even weeks, over the last couple of months. As you can see, this zone has been kind of started off in the early or late November, or early November here in this case, and then it's still coming into play in January 21, so 2021. So now that we had broken, or now that price had broken above this zone here, 143.43, right? The moving averages, I don't really necessarily like to talk about them all too much, but I do pay attention to this 20 and this 50 estimate that I have here. They're just simple moving averages that pretty much split price in half. So when it comes down to me using my moving averages, right, when the blue is over the red, this is the simplest way I could put it. I'm looking to buy. I also like to use the moving averages as dynamic levels of support and resistance. So for example, let's say price were to reject the 20 SMA here, right, and continue to go up, that I look for possible trade opportunities. If price were to break the 20, I wait for the pullback trend support at the 50. As you can see, price respects the 50 and continues to trade higher. If price breaks both of them, then most likely we're going to be reversing and changing in trend, right? But let's pay attention to what's currently going on with price action here. I want to focus on these last couple of days because as of right now, we're currently intraday trading, right? So price had initially came back down and rejected the highs at 141.825, or rejected this level of resistance here, and we had a bearish reaction out of here. There's definitely selling pressure in this area, and I'm going to be paying very close attention to how price reacts if it pulls back up to here. Now, price initially came back down to the 20 SMA, and we had the rejection of that level, and we had this big bullish reaction. We have this big bullish engulfing candlestick from this 20 SMA, which again is in confluence with our previous level of resistance here, this 143 level, right? So that gave me a pretty nice trade opportunity yesterday because we already know the direction we're looking to go in is to go long. Right now, when it came down to a 30-minute time frame, if I'm looking to go long and I see price break these highs right here, this level of resistance, like I marked it off based off the hour, right? Let's just kind of focus here on the hour, right? We have this level of resistance, we have these highs. Price broke above, came back down. I want to see if these highs, this resistance, will hold as newfound support. If it does, then that gives me an opportunity to actually take a trade. Why? Because I know where I'm going to enter, I know where I'm going to place my stops, and I know my targets are going to be these next levels where price struggles, where we see price have some form of indecision, right? So to simplify things, right, once price breaks a level of resistance, right, at one point in time sellers held that level as resistance. Now I want to see if buyers can hold that same exact level as support. If they can, then I'm going to look for an entry signal, and I'm going to place my stop loss under support, because if price breaks support, then I'm most likely wrong and want to cut my loss short and get out of the position, right? And then I'm going to look for the nearest level of resistance as targets. That's literally as simple as I could play it, right? If you need to hear that again, just replay the video, watch it back slowly, and try and interpret what I'm saying, right? Now, that gave me a pretty great trade opportunity. As you can see, we only had about a 13 pip stop. The signal room also caught this as well for 4 times our risk. So we had about a 13 pip stop loss, and we gained about 56 pips on that specific position. As you can see, it just went straight into profit. Now, hopefully this type of momentum does keep up. We've had a pretty strong momentum, so I would like to see that coming into London session here within the next 2 hours, right? Now, why I'm deciding to actually take this position here on or long position here on GJ after this big bearish reaction from these highs here is because the way the daily actually closed. The daily closed very, very weak bearish. So for those of you that are enrolled in the online course, you know, we go over candlestick analysis and what to kind of look for, right? This is pretty much just an indecisive candle. You know, price had this big wick to the downside, had this big wick to the upside, and we closed just near the middle. Not necessarily a doji, but a very weak bearish candlestick. So, you know, when there's a very weak bearish candlestick, that could just be signs of pullback, because this is a pretty significant bullish move from here to here. We're talking about almost 200 pips, right? So, you know, we had a pullback of about, from this 200 pip move, of about 126 pips, which potentially could be a 618 or a 78%. Yeah, it was a 618 pullback, as you can see here on this fib. So price pulled back about 61.8% of the entire bull move. So we can actually measure this bull move from where it started to where it ended. As you can see, it came all the way down to that 618 and then is actually starting to continue to trade higher. Now, this initial resistance that we have here, this lower high point, right? Notice again, resistance formed as support. This gives me a decent trade opportunity, right? Especially that we're still looking to buy. Price broke resistance, came back down, now it's holding as support, right? Waited for the candle confirmation, got that, entered, and my stop loss is under support. So I actually have a smaller stop loss. My stop loss is actually about 16 pips. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play this safe, because the blue line that we have up here, this 141.825 level, is a level of daily resistance, or we might see a lot of buying, or we may see a lot of selling pressure. I'm actually going to take off 50% of my position here, which I actually already have. Let me go to trade here, which I actually already did take off 50% of my position a little bit earlier than I thought, but I was on my phone and I made the mistake. So I closed about 50% of my position already, and I'm just going to let this one position that I have here run, and hopefully we do gain these 70 pips up here. So anyways, the brokerage I'm using is GoForex. You can see GoForex Real. It's only real money, live capital. I don't trade demo accounts. So I'm about to hit target ones literally as we speak. So now what I'm gonna do is pretty much just move my stop loss to break even and let this position run here. Where are my target ones? Actually, my TP one is 713, so it's about right here. So we're pretty much right there. Target one, 17 pip gain. At that point in time, I'm gonna move my stops to break even and let this continue. Now, why I'm gonna be moving my stop loss to break even is because we already made our risk. You know, why continue to leave risk on the table? Your goal as a trader is to be able to protect your capital. You have to protect your capital as best as possible. We're literally gonna hit TP1 by this video. Now, obviously, 17 pips is nothing crazy to me. It's more or less like a scalp if I were to close the entire position, but we're gonna try and hold this position. I already closed some money, so already closed some profit. I'm gonna move my stop loss to break even and just kind of let the trade ride to hopefully this 142.223 level. All right, so I wanted to update you guys on my position here on GJ. So as you could see, I decided to add another position, which is half the size of the current position. So my stop loss is going to be under this low here, because if price breaks this support, then most likely we're going to keep going down. Now, why I decided to add this position? Pretty simple. Again, it's the same methodology. Price broke above these highs. These highs are now newfound support, and we are almost up 2 times our risk, which is pretty much my daily target. my daily target. If I can make at least 2 times my risk and win 50% of the time, then mathematically I will be profitable. So 2 times my risk is normally always going to be the target. And as you can see, we're approaching target 2 here pretty quickly. You know, we're only 4 pips away. So let's kind of see, let's wait on this position, and let's give it a couple of hours or a couple of minutes here, see what happens. Like I said, again, you know, here's my second position. My second position is up 12 pips. My first position is up about 30 pips. So far we're 40 pips in for the day. So let's see what goes on within the next couple of hours. All right, everybody, quick update. So as my trade just pretty much hit my TP3 for about 3 times my risk and 48 pips, I'm actually going to close this position here, and I'm going to close on my other accounts. Give me 1 second here. And then I'm going to close on my phone. It's a little mission, I know. So TP3 hit. Let me also call this out on the signals here. Take profit 3 hour risk. Let's go. Cool. So hopefully you guys did enjoy that little trade recap. I'll put a screenshot on the screen of all of the profit that I made. So where is this here? Cool. So anyways, made roughly $8,000 today. I put a screenshot up on the screen here, and that was fairly simple. That was actually about it. Nothing too complicated. Like I said, you know, you guys saw the entire breakdown here. So I'll actually show this account since my other accounts are on my iPhone, and on here I don't want to really, you know, log in and log out. So here is a profit on this account. As you can see, it's roughly like 2.2 G's around there. As you can see, Goat Forex real. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this little video. The trade is still valid. Definitely do see price traveling up here, but I honestly cannot stay up anymore to watch this position. I really do want to go to sleep. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this breakdown. Trade lasted roughly 3 hours. So we're talking about, I just made roughly $6 grand in 3 hours, which is, you know, a pretty good day. I want to say so myself. $6,000 a day definitely does keep the job away. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this breakdown or this live trade in this case. And I'll talk to everybody in the next video. Definitely drop a comment if you guys want to see more of these types of videos, and I'll talk to everybody later. Peace.